Now we'll see the second end semester examination question paper of winter 2018. Here again we will apply the basic concepts of electrical machines that we already learned in electrical machines 1 and machines 2 to solve the numerical questions of this end semester examination. So let us begin with the first question, that is question 1b, which is for 6 marks. The question is effective resistance of a 1200 kVA 3300 volts 50 Hz 3-phase star connected alternator is 0.3 ohm per phase. A field current of 35 ampere produces a current of 200 ampere on short circuit and 1100 volt across line on open circuit. Find per unit change in terminal voltage when full load of 1200 kilowatt at 0.8 power factor lagging is thrown off. So as usual, first we will see the given data. So the kVA rating as per the question is 1200. Then line voltage, it is 3300 volts. Why it is line voltage we are taking? Because it is a star connected. That's why. Then frequency 50 Hz. Then effective resistance per phase is 0.3 ohm. Then field current is 35 ampere, and for that field current the short circuit current is 200 amperes and open circuit voltage is 1100 volts. Now what we have to find here? We have to find the per unit change in terminal voltage when full load of 1200 kilowatt at 0.8 power factor lagging. Right, so per unit change in terminal voltage means what? We have to find out here. The voltage regulation means what? The change in terminal voltage from no load to full load. So continue to this. First we'll see the equations to be used. So first is cos phi. As we know that kilowatt is what? Active power, and it's what? VI cos phi. So VI is what? kVA rating. So the cos phi is equals to what? It is the ratio of kilowatt rating divided by kVA rating. Then phase voltage, as we know that it is always equals to VL by root 3. That is line voltage is equals to root 3 times the phase voltage in 3-phase AC systems. Then load current, by using the above equations we can find the load current, that is I equal to load in kilowatt multiplied by 1000 divided by root 3 VL. Right, then open circuit voltage per phase is equals to, that is by which method? It is by synchronous impedance method. That is open circuit voltage per phase E is equal to Vp cos phi plus IRE whole square plus Vp sin phi plus IXS whole square, where Vp is what? Voltage per phase, that is the terminal voltage per phase. I is the load current, R is the effective resistance, right? Then XS is the synchronous reactance. Then finally the per unit voltage regulation, that is equal to V E naught minus V divided by V, right? So all these are per phase values. So just we are putting the values and we'll get the answer. So kVA rating is equals to what? Kilowatt rating divided by cos phi. Cos phi is given, that is 0.8. So the kVA rating is 1500 kVA. Then phase voltage, just put the line voltage of 3300 volt, then we will get the phase voltage of 190.525 volts. Then load current, right? Then synchronous impedance per phase, that is equals to what? The ratio of open circuit voltage to the short circuit current. Then synchronous reactance per phase XS is what? Is the square root of phasor difference of synchronous impedance and effective AC resistance, that is root of ZA square minus RE square. So just put the values, you will get the answer. Then open circuit voltage per phase as per the equation, right? So whatever the value we got here for Vp, right? Then so put that value and get the open circuit voltage per phase. Then put that open circuit voltage per phase in the equation per unit voltage regulation, that is E naught minus V divided by V. So the per unit voltage regulation is 10.66. Now next is question 2a, which is for 4 marks. An alternator has direct axis reactance 0.9 per unit and quadrature axis reactance of 0.55 per unit. Find per unit open circuit voltage for full load at 0.8 power factor lagging. Okay, so first given data. So XD is what? XD is direct axis reactance, that is a 0.9 per unit. Then quadrature axis reactance is 0.55 per unit, that is XQ. And power factor is given as 0.8. So for that, here we have to assume that applied voltage is 1 per unit, then current is also 1 per unit. Then by using the cos phi of 0.8, we can find out the phase angle phi, that is cos inverse of 0.8 is equals to 36.9 degree. So using this given data, we can find out the per unit open circuit voltage for full load at 0.8 power factor lagging. So which equation here we have to use? That there are some equations, that is tan delta is equals to what? Ratio of Ixq cos phi divided by V plus Ixq sin phi. Then Id is equals to I sin of phi plus delta, and third equation is E naught is equals to V cos delta plus Id xd. Here the armature resistance is negligible, so we can neglect the drop due to the armature resistance, that is IRE. Okay. Then put the values in tan delta and get the angle delta. Then by using the phase angle phi and delta, we can calculate the direct axis current, that is Id is equals to I sin psi. Psi is what? It is the arithmetic sum of phi plus phi and delta. Then E naught, by using the equation V cos delta plus Id xd, we'll get the equation, that is we'll get the answer, that is 1.68799 per unit. Okay. The next question is question 2b, which is for 6 marks and it is in OR. Sleep test is conducted on 3-phase 3 kVA 415 volt star connected alternator with following observations. As we know that in sleep test we have to give the maximum voltage, we have to take the readings of maximum voltage and minimum voltage, and then correspondingly we have to measure the maximum current and minimum current, right? So accordingly the given data is that maximum voltage is 44.3, minimum voltage is 39.9 volts, and these are the line voltages. Then the maximum current is 1.1 ampere and minimum current is 0.8 amperes. The armature resistance per phase is 5 ohm. Calculate regulation of alternator at 0.8 power factor lagging. First we'll see the given data. The given data is V is 415 volts, that is the line voltage. kVA rating is 3 at 0.8 power factor lagging. Armature resistance is 5 ohm per phase, and using this we have to find out the regulation of alternator at 0.8 power factor lagging. Now continue to this, we will see the equations to be used. So using the given data in question, we have to find out the direct axis synchronous reactance per phase, and equation for that is maximum voltage to the minimum current, right? But as these given values are line values, so divided by √3 and get the phase voltage. That's why the equation is maximum voltage divided by √3 and divided by minimum current. Then quadrature axis synchronous reactance per phase, same, but here minimum voltage to the maximum current, right? So convert the line voltage into phase voltage by dividing the line value of minimum voltage by √3. Then next is phase voltage is equals to VL by root 3. Then the equations that we have to use to find out the regulation is tan delta is equals to I x q cos phi divided by V plus I x q sin phi. Id is equals to I sin psi, that is I sin of phi plus delta. Then E naught is equals to V cos delta plus I dxd plus IQ RA. In previous question, this IQ RA is negligible. Why? Because armature resistance is neglected. Now continue to this, just put the values and get the phase voltage. Line voltage is 415 volts, so the phase voltage will be 415 by root 3 is equals to 240 volt. Then using the above equation for xd and xq, just put the values and then we get the xd is 31.97 ohm, xq is 20.94 ohm. Then load current is 4.1736 ampere. Right, then put these calculated values in tan delta equation and get the angle delta is as 13.44 degree. Right, then using the phase angle phi and delta, find out the direct axis component of current, that is ID, and that is 3.213 ampere. Then put these values of ID, XD, then IQ, RA and delta and V and get the no load voltage per phase, right, that is 349.29 volts. Then we can get the per unit voltage regulation by putting these values. So EOP minus V divided by V, right, so the regulation is 45%. Now the next question is question 3B, which is for 6 marks. A 3000 volt 3-phase synchronous motor running at 1500 rpm has its excitation kept constant corresponding to no load terminal voltage of 3000 volt. Determine the power input, power factor and torque developed for an armature current of 250 ampere if the synchronous reactance is 5 ohm per phase, right? Then the condition is that neglect armature resistance. This question is repeated in 2019, summer 2019 and semester examination question paper. So again, given data. So write down first the given data, then write down what we have to find: power input, power factor and torque developed. Then what are the equations that we are using here? That is the torque, gross torque developed is 9.55 multiplied by the ratio of motor input power and synchronous speed. Then motor input power is root 3 VL cos phi. Impedance drop IZ, but here armature resistance is neglected, that's why the impedance drop is equals to IXS. Per phase voltage VL by root 3. Line induced EMF, it is root 3 times phase voltage, right? So just put the values and get the per phase voltage, then induced EMF, impedance drop, and then using this we have to draw a phasor diagram. So take V per phase voltage as a reference, right? Then show the current vector I lagging behind this phase voltage of 1732 volts by an angle phi. Right? But here as armature resistance is negligible, so the current vector I will be approximately at 90 degree to the XS, or we can say that impedance drop, that is 1250, right? And then the resultant will be what? Again the induced EMF, that is 1732 volts, that is same, and that is given, that is open circuit voltage is given as 3000 volt divided by root 3 is 1732 volts. So from this phasor diagram we can get the angle phi. right? So the resultant vector is 1732 square is equals to the reference 1732 square plus 1250 square minus the product of 2, then 1250, 1732 and cos of 90 minus 5, right? So and using that we can calculate the phi is equals to sine inverse of 0.36, and that is 21.15 degree. So power factor can be calculated just taking the cos of 21.15 degree, that is 0.9326 lagging. Then power input root 3 VLIL cos phi, right? VL is 3000 volts, IL is 250 amperes, and power factor is that we have already calculated 0.9326, right? So the power input is equals to 1210.703 kilowatt. Then the gross mechanical torque developed is 9.55 multiplied by motor input power divided by synchronous speed, right? So here just put the values, then we'll get the answer. Let's see the next question, question 3b, which is in all and which is also for 6 marks. The question is, a 3000 volt 3-phase synchronous motor running at 1500 rpm has its excitation kept constant corresponding to no load terminal voltage of 3000 volt. Determine the power input, power factor and torque developed for an armature current of 250 ampere if the synchronous reactance is 5 ohm per phase, right? Then we have to determine what power input, power factor and torque developed, and we have to neglect here armature resistance. Now we'll see the given data. So as per the question, the line voltage is 3000 volt, synchronous speed 1500 rpm, then synchronous impedance is equals to the synchronous reactance per phase, and that is 5 ohm, and it is why because armature resistance is negligible. What we have to find here, we have to determine the power input, power factor and torque developed for an armature current of 250 amperes. Now we'll see the equations to be used. Torque developed, that is equals to the ratio of motor input power minus armature copper loss divided by 2 pi ns divided by 60. So here we are taking the synchronous speed in rps, that's why divide the synchronous speed by 60. Then motor input power, that is equals to root 3 VLIL cos phi. Then impedance drop equal to IZ, and that is equals to IXS, because here armature resistance is neglected, that's why the impedance is equals to the synchronous reactance. Then phase voltage, that is equals to VL by root 3. Then power factor, that is cos phi, and then line induced EMF equal to root 3 times the phase EMF. So put the values and get the answer. So the phase voltage is 3000 divided by root 3, then we will get 1732.051 volts. Then get the induced EMF per phase equal to 3000 divided by root 3. Here the induced EMF per phase is calculated by taking the value of line voltage, that is equals to 3000 volt. Why? Because the excitation is kept constant and there is no load on the motor. That's why the induced EMF and the terminal voltage both are same. That's why here again we have taken 3000 volt as the line induced EMF, and that's why the induced EMF per phase is equals to 3000 by root 3. and that is same as the phase voltage. Input line current is equals to the input phase current is equals to 250 amperes, because we know that in star connection the line current and the phase current are same. Then impedance drop, put the value of 250 ampere current and synchronous reactance, that is 5 ohm. We will get the impedance drop, that is 1250 volts. Then internal angle, we can take it as 90 degree. Why? Because the armature resistance is negligible. So according to that we can draw the phasor diagram. Right, so assuming armature current lagging behind the supply voltage by an angle phi, so as shown in figure, that is phasor diagram. So take V as a reference, then show the current lagging behind V by an angle phi, right? Then show the vector, that is impedance drop ER at 90 degree to the current vector, and then the resultant is E, right? So according to the phasor diagram in triangle AOB, we can get the equation E square is equal to V square plus ER square minus 2 VER cos of 90 degree minus phi. So here put the values and we can get angle phi. Right, so first we'll get the sine phi and then take the sine inverse of that. So the angle phi is equals to 21.15 degree. Then using that we can determine the power factor, that is cos of phi, and that is 0.9326 lagging. So this is the answer. Next, motor input power is equals to root 3 VL IL cos phi. So just put the values. Then we will get the motor input power as 1212 kilowatt. Then torque developed. Now the motor input power is calculated. Armature copper loss is neglected here, right? So just put the input power and synchronous speed and get the torque developed in Newton meter. So that is the answer. The next question is question 4b for 6 marks. A 3.3 kilovolt 20 pole 50 hertz 3 phase star connected induction motor has a slip ring rotor of resistance 0.025 ohm per phase and standstill reactance of 0.28 ohm per phase. The motor runs at 294 rpm when full load torque is applied. Calculate slip at maximum torque, the ratio of maximum to full load torque, the ratio of starting torque to full load torque. This question means somewhat data is different, but the same question is already we have seen in summer 2019. The given data, V is 3.3 kilovolt and it is the line voltage, number of poles 20, rotor resistance per phase is 0.025 ohm, then standstill reactance is 0.28 ohm per phase and the full load speed is 294 rpm. What we have to find here? We have to find the slip at maximum torque and ratio of maximum to full load torque, and as well ratio of starting torque to full load torque. First, the synchronous speed, we know that equation is 120 f by p. Put the value of f of 50 hertz, p 20 poles, so the synchronous speed is 300 rpm. Then full load slip, that is the ratio of ns minus nf and ns. So it is 0.02. Then slip corresponding to maximum torque, and the equation is R2 by X2. Then ratio of maximum to full load torque is Tmax by Tf, and that is equals to Smax by Sf plus Sf by Smax divided by 2. So just put the values here of Smax and Sf and get the answer, that is 2.337. Then to get the ratio of starting torque to full load torque, so first find out the ratio of starting torque to the maximum torque, and that is the equation is 2 times Smax divided by Smax square plus 1, right? So the ratio is 0.1766. Now get the ratio of full load torque to maximum torque and then starting torque to the maximum torque to get the ratio of starting torque to the full load torque. So the ratio is 0.412, and that is the answer. The next question is question 4b for 6 marks. A 6-pole 440 volt 3-phase 50 Hz induction motor has the following parameters of its equivalent circuit referred to stator. R1 is 0 ohm, R2 dash 0.3 ohm, X1 is 0.7 ohm, X2 dash is 0.7 ohm, Xm is 35 ohm, and the rotational losses are 750 watts. Calculate net mechanical power output, stator current, and power factor when motor runs at 950 rpm. The given data is line voltage is 440 volt, number of poles 6, rotor resistance 0.3 ohm, R1 is 0, then X2 dash is 0.7 ohm, and that is also equal to the stator reactance, that is X1, then Xm is 35 ohm, and the rotor speed is 950 rpm. It is not the synchronous speed, right? And the rotational loss is 750 watts. But we have to find here, we have to find out the mechanical power output, stator current, and power factor. So we see one by one. First, stator impedance per phase. As per the given data, it is R1 plus J X1. So R1 is 0, X1 is 0.7 ohm per phase. Then equivalent rotor impedance per phase, that is R2 dash plus J X2 dash, that is 0.3 plus J 0.7. Then to find out the impedance, first we have to find out the slip, and for that we must know the synchronous speed. So using the equation 120F by P, we can get the synchronous speed, and that is 1000 rpm. Then put it in the equation of slip S is equals to ns minus n divided by ns, and get the slip of 0.05. So the equivalent load resistance per phase RL dash is equals to R2 by K square multiplied by in bracket 1 by S minus 1, right? So R2 by K square is R2 dash, and that is 0.3. So 0.3 multiplied by 1 divided by 0.05 minus 1, and that is equivalent load resistance per phase is 5.7 ohm. Then supply voltage per phase is VL by root 3, that is 440 by root 3 is 254 volts. Then effective impedance per phase, that is Z is equals to the Z1 plus Z2 dash plus RL dash. So Z1 is what? Stator impedance per phase, right? Then Z2 dash is Z2 by K square, that is 0.3 plus 0.7 ohm, and RL dash is 5.7 ohm, right? So just add the values. So Z1 is stator impedance per phase, then Z2 by K square is equivalent rotor impedance per phase, and RL dash is equivalent load resistance per phase. So the final equation is 6 plus j 1.4. So this is in rectangular form. Convert it into polar form and get the magnitude and angle. Now counterbalancing rotor current per phase. So I1 dash is equals to 254 divided by impedance. Impedance is 6.16 at an angle of 13.13 degree. So here the counterbalancing rotor current per phase, that is I1 dash, is 41.23. So this is in polar form, so get converted into rectangular form. Right, then magnetizing component of no load current per phase, that is Im is equals to V by Xm. Then energy component of no load current is 0. Hence no load current per phase I0 is equals to I minus J Im. So I is 0, so minus J 7.257 is the no load current per phase. Now stator current per phase can be calculated by taking the summation of I1 dash and I0. So I1 dash is 40.152 minus J 9.365 and I0 is 0 minus J 7.257. So get the result of that, and the resultant equation is 40.152 minus J 16.622. So get converted into polar form and get the answer of stator current per phase as 43.4565. So whatever the angle is with the stator current, then take the cos of that, we will get the power factor. The power factor is 0.9239, and then output power can be calculated by using the equation 3I1 square RL dash minus rotational losses. So 3I1 square is what? That we have found out, that stator current 43.4565, right? Then put the values and get the output power as 31542.792 watts. Okay. The next question is question 5, which is on circle diagram, and it is for 10 marks. A 15 kilowatt 415 volts 4 pole 50 Hz delta connected motor gave the following results. So no load test. So by using no load test, voltage is 415 volts, current is 10.5 amperes, and power is 1510 watts. Block rotor test. So using this block rotor test, the short circuit voltage is 105, short circuit current is 28 ampere, and short circuit power is 2040 watts. Draw circle diagram and determine full load efficiency and full load slip, as in stator and rotor copper losses are equal at standstill. So in the next question that we already seen in end semester examination solution of summer 2019, the same procedure can be applied here, but the one more parameter we have to find, and that is slip. So to find out the slip and efficiency, we have to draw a line parallel to line OF and tangential to the semicircle. Then the vertical intercept P dash P between the tangent line and horizontal line OF gives the maximum power input to the motor, right? Similarly, draw a line parallel to the torque line O dash D and tangential to the semicircle. Then the vertical intercept Q dash Q represents the maximum torque. Then similarly draw a line parallel to the output line O dash A and tangential to the semicircle. Then the vertical intercept S dash S represents the maximum power output. So using that we can get the equations for efficiency, that is output by input is equals to root 3V KH by root 3V NH. So it is the ratio of KH by NH. Similarly slip S is the ratio of NH by OH. So the next question will clear your doubts how to draw the phasor diagram. Now the next question is question 5, which is for 10 marks, and that is of circle diagram. So the question is a 5 kilowatt 400 volts 4 pole 50 hertz delta connected motor gave the following results, and it is assumed that the stator resistance is 1.6 ohm per phase. Now the data by no load test is voltage 400 volts, current 3.1 and power is 350 watts. The data by block rotor test, it is voltage is 52 volts, current 7.6 ampere and power is 440 watts. What we have to do here, we have to draw a circle diagram to the scale and we have to determine the full load efficiency. So let us see the given data first. So as per the no load test, no load voltage is 400 volts, no load current is 3.1 ampere and no load power is 350 watts. So using that we can find out the no load power factor, and that is equals to P0 by root 3 V0 I0. So no load power is given, that is 350, then no load voltage is 400 and no load current is 3.1. So put that values, so we'll get the power factor, that is no load power factor as 0.163. Then using that find out the no load phase angle. So take the cos inverse of 0.163. So the no load phase angle is 80.62 degree. Now short circuit current with normal voltage applied across the stator can be calculated as ISC is equals to the short circuit current 7.6 multiplied by no load voltage to the short circuit voltage, that is 400 by 52, and that is the current, that is short circuit current with normal voltage, and it is 58.46 amperes, right? So using that we can find out the short circuit input with normal voltage, that is PSC, and that is equals to 58.46 divided by 7.6 whole square multiplied by 440. Right, what is here 58.46? It is the short circuit current with normal voltage, and what is 7.6? It is the current that we take it from the short circuit test readings, right? Then short circuit power factor cos phi SC is equals to PSC by root 3 V0 ISC. So just put the values and give the short circuit power factor as 0.64. Then short circuit phase angle, take the cos inverse of 0.64. Then we get the short circuit phase angle as 50.20 degree. Here the values are not as per the given data, so that may be due to some inaccurate values in questions. Now short circuit current with normal voltage applied across the stator. Okay, that we have seen. So now we have to decide the current scale, and that is 1 centimeter is equals to 5 ampere. So here we are taking 1 centimeter is equals to 5 ampere. By using the results obtained from no load and block rotor test on 3-phase induction motor, we have calculated the no load phase angle phi naught and short circuit phase angle phi SC, which are used here to draw the circle diagram. So with O as origin, take OV along the y-axis, then with O as origin, draw OO dash, that is equal to no load current at an angle phi naught to V, that is it is lagging behind V by an angle phi naught. Then with O as origin, draw OA, that is equals to the short circuit current with normal voltage, and that is to be drawn at an angle phi SC to V. Then draw OF perpendicular to OD. Then from O dash, draw a line O dash G parallel to OF. Then to get the center of the required circle, draw a perpendicular to the line O dash A. First join the line O dash A and then take a perpendicular to line O dash A that will bisect the line at point B, and then it will intersect the line O dash G at C. So with C as the center and O dash C as the radius, we can draw the semicircle, and that is shown on the next slide. So here with C as the center and O dash C as the radius, we have drawn a semicircle. Then at an angle phi 1, draw or join OH. So to get the point H, draw a line parallel to O dash A, that is output line, that also represents the rotor current referred to the primary side, that is I1 dash, right? So OH will indicate the current I1, and that is at an angle phi 1 to V. Then to estimate the maximum output power, maximum torque and maximum input power, draw the intercepts to the circle diagram. So here first draw the points O dash D. So O dash D line indicates the torque line. Then the O dash A is already joined, and the O dash A indicates the output line, right? So to get the maximum output power, draw perpendicular from point H, and then that will cut the lines O dash A, O dash D and O dash C at the points K, L, M, right? So the HK, that is the intercept, vertical intercept HK indicates the maximum output power. Now to estimate the maximum torque, draw a line parallel to the torque line, then that will in intersect the semicircle at O dash, that is it will be tangent to the semicircle, and then O dash O will indicate the maximum torque, right? Then to get the maximum input power, drop a perpendicular from point A, and means what, how to get the point A, draw a line parallel to the O dash D or OF, then that will be tangent to the semicircle, right? That will cut the semicircle at point A. Then the vertical intercept AF will indicate the maximum input power, right? Also it will indicate the total losses. EF indicates the no load losses, that is fixed losses. Then AD rotor copper loss, and DE stator copper loss, right? So the points HK, then HL, HM and HN. So these are the energy components of the line current I1, and that will see how these are used to calculate the sleep, power factor and efficiency at full load. So to determine power scale, a perpendicular AF through A is drawn, that we have already seen. So AF represents the total input on short circuit with normal voltage, which is 26034.132 watts. Since AF is equals to 7.15 centimeter, we can measure it by scale, and it is 7.15 centimeter. So the power scale is what then? 26034.132 divided by 7.15, and that is 3641.137 watts per centimeter. So at full load, we can calculate the power factor by taking the ratio of NH, that is the energy component of the current I1, divided by OH. OH is what? That is the line current I1 at an angle phi 1, right? So by taking the ratio of that, we get the power factor as 0.9. Then output can be calculated by kH and multiplied by power scale. So kH, measure it in centimeter by scale, so it is 2.15 centimeter, and multiplied by power scale, then we will get the output in watts. Then find out the efficiency by taking the ratio of kH to NH and multiplied by 100. So we will get the efficiency, and the ratio of that kH by NH is 2.15 divided by 4.61 is 0.466, multiplied by 100, then we will get the efficiency, that is 46.6%, and that is the answer. So I think all the questions are clear to you, and if you are having any doubts, any confusion, then you can contact me, you can call me, right? Thank you.